Okay, I refer to this method as elimination. Your book calls it addition or subtraction. Just know that it means the same thing. I call it elimination because one of the variables is eliminated. To me, it's a little more meaningful. Okay, on your notes I have 4 examples, so if you want to split your paper into 4 boxes.
Where are these said notes?
Now, if you recall, in your graphic organizer, I said that you're either going to add or subtract your equations. The first one is going to be very similar to one we did put in your graphic organizer. If I have r minus s equals -3 and r plus s equals 9. Step 1 said I need to add or subtract my equations. My recommendation to you, see what happens if you add them. So if I put a big plus sign and I add these equations together, r plus r, what does that give me? 2r. Negative s plus s? Nothing. They cancel out. That's what you want to happen. -3 plus 9 gives me 6. If this happens, you're in business. If this doesn't happen, we're going to have to explore another option, which we'll see in the next example. But for right now, if I want to solve for r, divide by 2, so r equals 3. If I want to know what s is, I'm going to plug that value up in for r in my original equation. Subtract 3 from both sides, so s equals 6. We always want to write our answers in ordered pair. Which comes first? R comes first, S comes second. So your answer as an ordered pair is 3, 6.
I'm gonna be over here singing my
Yes.
So every time you want added first, then?
Yes. Okay, now keep in mind that I said I am going to recommend that every time you're given a system of equations, see what happens if you add it. Even if it's just mentally, see if one of your variables cancels out. Let's look at x minus 3y equals 2 and x plus 4y equals 16. Okay, I said try to add them first. If I add my equations, if I just add them together, will any of my variables cancel out?
No.
No, because I'll get 2x plus y equals 18. I still have 2 variables. That doesn't help me out at all. So instead of adding my equations, I am going to subtract my equations. Now, I can't just subtract that x. I have to subtract every little piece of my equation. I have to subtract x, I have to subtract 4y, and I have to subtract 16. I'm going to recommend that until you get used to this, go through and change your signs. It's going to save you a lot of trouble because what I tend to do is I'll subtract the x and I'll subtract the 4y, but I'll forget about the 16. Okay? So go through, change the signs of all of them. Once you change your signs, now if I add my equations, x plus negative x, they cancel out. Negative 3y plus a negative 4y, negative 7y. 2 plus a negative 16? Negative 14. I am only left with one variable, so if I divide both sides by negative 7, y equals 2. Yes?
Why is it negative 7?
Negative 3y minus 4y. We changed everything to the opposite. Or negative 3y plus the negative 4y. We're kind of subtracting this time instead.
So we just
Change everything to...
positive, it's negative?
Yes. Yep. Okay, so once I find y, in order to find x, I'm going to plug that value into one of my equations. X plus 4 times 2 equals 16. I get x plus 8 equals 16, so x equals 8. As an ordered pair, my answer is 8, 2. Let's do another one where you're going to have to subtract.
Oh, you just told me.
Oh, okay. Well, it'll be a surprise then. Okay. What about 8g plus 7h equals 26 and 8g minus 10H equals 60. Okay, just mentally in your head, if you add your equations, will either one of your variables be eliminated? No. Okay, now I had a couple people last class who, instead of thinking of subtracting, they just change everything to its opposite. Because if I multiply this whole side by a -1, and I multiply this whole side by a -1, I'm multiplying both sides of my equation by the same number, and we know just by solving equations that I can do that. So change everything to its opposite. So the positive 8g becomes a negative 8g.
Do we do that at the top too?
Nope, just one equation. Because if you do it to the top, then it's not going to eliminate. The negative 10h turns to a plus 10h, and the positive 60 turns into a negative 60. Once you change everything to its opposite, then you can go back and add them together. 8g plus the negative 8g, those cancel out. 7h plus 10h gives me 17h. 26 minus 60, negative 34. When you solve for h, you should find that h equals -2. And whenever you plug that back into one of your original equations, you can solve for g. So 8g minus 14 equals 26. So 8g equals 40. So g equals 5. Which one comes first? G. So 5, comma, -2. Easier? Okay, I won't tell you. I'll let you guys do this entire one by yourself. Last one. A minus 3b equals -1, and 2a plus 3b equals 16. Okay, when you add your equations together, what do you get? 3a equals 15, so a equals 5. When you plug a back into one of your original equations, what do you get b to equal? You should get b equals 2, so your answer as an ordered pair, 5, 2.